Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a look here at Radium, seeing what's going on. This is a request from one of our community members and a handful of others, honestly. Get a lot of requests for this one. What is it, Lee? Appreciate the request. Absolutely be happy to help you out there. And what we want to look at here, because got to keep in mind, there's no liquidation data here for Radium. So we kind of got to tread lightly, if you will, because it's not like we can't really see liquidation levels, which isn't a problem. You can totally trade without it. It just really kind of helps get you a leg up. So what I mean by that is simply put here, this chart concerns me just from the outside looking in, from larger perspective. Keep in mind, this is the the MEXC global charts. So for the most part, there's going to be a lot of other charts that might reflect different, but we can see a significant taper in volume ever since other exchanges were involved. So that does change things a lot as far as momentum and volatility. So just something to kind of preface with and give you a heads up on. So what we want to look at here is we'll go with a larger, more macro fibs, because that's generally the best way to go with a swing trade analysis, and just kind of understand generally that we're in a situation right now where the price action is doing well, but it's coming up to a resistance range, which that 1.618, 0.618, 2.618, whatever the case is, no matter how high up or low you go, that's a really common area of retracement. So I'd be willing to anticipate, if you will, the price action pulling down from here, or at least soon. And what I mean by that is we can kind of see somewhat of a, I wouldn't say it's a pennant pattern, but it is somewhat of a rising wedge pattern, and these usually break down as well. Okay, so just bird's eye view scenario here. We haven't dove in too deep yet, but that's essentially what I'm seeing so far. So whoever is trading this, just trade with caution. It's really just the easy way to understand it. Coins like this, lower market cap coins essentially, are generally fallible or more manipulative, if you will, manipulated rather. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we rejected off 70 on the RSI here recently. Resistance level kind of letting us know that we're getting close. Now, with us continuing to retest, different story altogether, we could see a breakout, but there's more likelihood that the price is just going to wick up and come back down and then pull back. Main reason why I think that is just because Bitcoin is getting closer to potentially breaking down to the 67K range, and if that happens, a lot of alts are going to have a bad day here soon, and this could be one of those. Right now, again, if there's a lot of good stuff here, maybe a different story altogether, but if we can recognize that the money flow index is above the RSI, it's usually a good sign. MACD is converging, trend strength indicator is high, and of course, we can kind of recognize that we're above all moving averages. So this coin's looking good, right? And all in all, pretty decent here in the overall sense. Now, keep in mind, I'm using the MEXC global chart specifically because it has the most data. It's not like a newer perpetual chart because it doesn't have the moving averages. Everything seems to be much more accurate when you go with larger, more established charts. So that's kind of the reason for that. Just keep that in mind. But the truth is the macro is looking pretty solid here in the overall sense, not looking bad at all. If we look at our 4-hour time frame, we can kind of see we are somewhat into a type of pattern here. Okay, I'm basically establishing higher highs and higher lows, but also starting to compress. Usually when that happens, the price will break down versus breaking up. Again, this is just a candlestick pattern, nothing crazy, but that is telling us one thing. However, everything else is telling us some pretty good stuff here too. Contrary to most coins in the market right now, we can see we're above every single moving average on the 4-hour. That's generally positive. Over 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is high, stochastic pulling back. We're seeing this happen with a lot of coins that are generally more bullish than bearish versus Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is just that, if you compare this chart with Bitcoin's chart, it's going to look similar-ish, but it's also very different in the sense that it's not pulling back super hard when Bitcoin pulls back. A lot of other altcoins are kind of, they're making lower lows and lower highs, but this coin, higher highs and higher lows. Generally a favorable situation. So don't read too much into this pattern here. These are only like a 55% probability type of patterns anyways. They usually work better when there's a lot of confirming factors, but I don't see very many confirming factors to the downside on the 4-hour. 4-hour looks pretty strong. Hourly time frame could tell us different. Let's see. We are in a messy situation. I don't like to trade situations like this, just so you know, simply because the Ichimoku cloud is kind of a big mess right now. And this happens with range-bound activity because the price has been ranging somewhat within the last 24 to 48 hours. So me personally, I would avoid trading this, but the positive sentiment here is we're above the cloud. We have the conversion line below the baseline, which isn't good, and lagging spend is not free and clear of the price. So these are really just unfavorable situations. So all of this combined leading into a resistance level here with this 0.618 fib leads me to believe we're probably going to see the price pull back in the overall sense versus going up. Once more, pending Bitcoin doesn't make a run towards 6970K, I think Radium should pull back here soon. It's starting to top out, starting to see some patterns here, some smaller time frame shifts in momentum that could add up later. Again, it's way too early to say, so I would recommend waiting for the price action to maintain this range and to continue to, soundly close below $2.20 first. If it breaks above that level, it might be a different story. Generally, you want to wait for the price action to break above a key level resistance, for example, and then consolidate there for a day or two. Okay, so just because the price goes up at $2.22, oh my gosh, they got a FOMO in. That's when the market makers pull the price, all right? Trust me, you got to wait for confirmation. It comes in a lot of different ways, but mostly it comes with being patient, which in the crypto environment, I've noticed is a very four-letter word, for lack of better terms. Most people construe being patient as a bad thing. So again, if you like losing money, then don't be patient. It's okay. It's just kind of the way it goes. Granted, there's plenty of opportunities you can miss by being patient. I miss them all the time, but you get used to it. You eventually grow thicker skin, like, okay, this doesn't matter anymore. Whatever. I don't care. Either way, this is still mostly a bearish sign. In fact, we could even draw this out a little cleaner. I'll update our playout chart here on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, but there's a lot of reasons why this little compression here is more likely to break down, leading into a key level resistance than break up. Again, macro looks good, but the smaller time frames reflecting something different. I'll post our playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you're not familiar with it. I have a lot of information there relevant to the market, more specifically my analysis, and hopefully it helps find you better, find you well, whatever. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget the like button before you go. More importantly, check out Bitunix if you haven't already, folks. This is our community favorite. We use them almost specifically because there's no KYC or VPN, and this benefit is good until the end of the month. So be sure to use this if you already are in our community. If not, make sure you check this out. It's a really cool campaign. They run that every other month usually, so it's nice to take advantage of those offers. All right, thanks again, folks. We'll look forward to work with you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.